Hi Aries, welcome or welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. We're talking about March today, which is crazy that we're already talking about March. I will probably say that every month going forward because I'm always just so surprised at how fast it goes, but also not. Anyway, I hope February has treated you well. Happy birthday to you, March Aries, also in advance, because I know that kind of switches later on in the month, and I'll probably end up saying that again at the mid-month readings. Anyway, February was pretty busy for moi. I actually launched an Etsy store, which I'm so proud of. So I would love it if you checked it out. Of course, there's no obligation to buy anything. If you find something you connect to and you want to buy or purchase it, I would love that. But if you could, at the very least, just fill the space with a ton of love so that other people will buy stuff. I appreciate it. We're using the Tarot of the Abyss this month. And I actually do have a couple of these decks listed on there. Everything is free shipping. Everything comes with like a velvet bag, which can double as a tarot bag if you want it to, and a stone and an affirmation card as part of the little packaging and as a thank you to you. So just a heads up on that as well. So let's talk about you. Like I said, we're talking March here. We do a 4-card spread. The first position is the current energy. To the left of that is any potential blocks. Underneath that is advice for clearing the block. And then the last position is the energy that you're heading into. I don't shuffle reversals into the deck, which is kind of funny because this deck, when I first got it, like I usually, like, you know, when I get a new deck, I kind of, I play around with it a lot. Like I really like to kind of get my energy into all the nooks and crannies of a deck. So I just kind of like obsessively use it for a while. And it was so funny because, you know, I shuffle everything exactly the same way. I'm just kind of OCD like that. And this deck for a while, there would just be all of these random reversals in the deck. And we literally had to have a sit down meeting about how I don't shuffle reversals into the deck. It was like fighting me on that. It was really kind of funny. But anyway, a little tangent there. But if the cards do fall out in the reverse, we will take them in the reverse. My intention is for 1 card to come out at a time. We'll take 2, but any more than 2, we'll put it back in the deck. So we do want the message to be super clear. And then the cards do need to fall out of the deck. If they flip in the deck, we'll just flip them over and keep it moving. And I believe that's all for disclaimers. So I'm not taking that because that was operator error. I'll tell you this month too. It has been such a roller coaster trying to kind of get these readings out. You know I have probably like said this a million times and you may be sick of me or sick of hearing it, but this throat chakra situation, like, I don't know, it almost feels a little like regressive, almost like really kind of frustrating for me. So, you know, but honestly, like that's the journey, right? Like just a reminder to, of course, just kind of trust the process, but also just try our best to just kind of keep moving forward and not get stuck in that kind of, you know, if it does feel a bit regressive, you know, just everything is temporary, right? And my intention is for my intention is to, you know, kind of synchronize with my throat chakra where we don't have this struggle basically. So what is the current energy for Aries. We have the King of Pentacles, focusing on the bag. Queen of Swords, yeah, absolutely. Ace of Pentacles, Three of Wands, yep. So, you know, the King of Pentacles, the Pentacles talk about our money, our resources, materials. Also talks about, you know, like the physical body. I love how in this depiction, you know, it looks like he's maybe holding some mountains here, and there's almost like this path, and the pentacle is in the position of like where his heart is. So it's just, you know, very much about like our identity almost, right? But like our passion, what are we passionate about? And those are the things that allows, you know, like the income and the money to flow a little bit easier. What's that saying? Like, if you love what you do, it's never considered work. I think it's something like that. But so, you know, the King of Pentacles is the highest expression of the Pentacle card, right? It's having an abundance of what you need. You know, it's being at the top of your game. It's being, you know, even at the top of the company. Like, I mean, you could be in a higher position or seeking to be in a higher position with your job. The Queen of Swords here at the bottom of the deck, you know, those swords deal with our thoughts and our intellect. So this is, you know, like just being very, almost kind of like razor focused on what you're doing. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles underneath that. You know, we have this pentacle that's kind of the seed and what grows from that seed, right? So we go from the Ace of Pentacles to the King of Pentacles. This is the beginning of this journey, right? So again, you know, I mean, you could even be searching for some sort of a promotion within your field. Okay, sorry about that. Oh my gosh, I ended up getting the worst stomach pain. So I just kind of lit a piece of sage there to kind of clear the air because, you know, I mean, this could be something that, you know, like a new direction that you're trying to go in. This could even be a new job presenting itself. Because it's almost kind of like, you know, you've mastered maybe your current position, even if you don't feel that way. You know, the Queen of Swords is, like I said, just very sure, you know, like she's confident, she's clear in thought, right? This is, you know, like the Ace of Swords, the sword of truth, right? And then, like I said, the Ace of Pentacles, the seed that kind of starts everything that grows into this beautiful tree. The Three of Wands is, you know, choosing a direction to head in, but it's also, you know, like the ship is coming in. So there could be some sort of reward or just some sort of like even recognition coming towards you. And then we have the Three of Swords. And in this depiction of the Three of Swords, and that's kind of the beautiful thing about this deck is that the author included two alternative cards, and this being one of them, the Ten of Swords being the other. This Three of Swords depiction talks about the knowledge that you gain, right? Like the swords are going into this book, and there's all these letters flying off the page and, you know, like kind of into the mind, right? So, you know, it's knowledge, it's learning. And, you know, maybe it's just something that either, like I said, like you either don't necessarily feel ready for, or, like maybe it does kind of stress you out to the point of having like a physical reaction like I did. Also, the Pentacles talk about our physical body, our 3D body. So, there could be something going on with your health also. And I would say that, the King of Pentacles is, kind of getting their shit together as far as health goes. So in the blocked position, we have the Magician and the Death card. Two of Wands, Page of Cups. So the Magician talks about, having all of the resources that you need to manifest what you desire. It's actually like the physical manifestation, like actually working on manifesting the thing, right? Because we start at the Fool card, which is 0, right? So the Fool is the one that takes that leap of faith, walks off that cliff, right? And the Magician is like the universe just kind of formulating around you. It's the you take that leap of faith into the unknown, and it's the universe creating the world that you are trying to manifest. It's the universe, kind of like putting all the parts and pieces in place to catch you, like after you walk off that cliff as the Fool, right? And then we have the Death card, which is so interesting because, here we have this representation of the tree. And then in this depiction, there's also a tree. But we have this kind of figure wrapped around it, and there's even like this skull down here. Death talks about the ending of a cycle, but it also talks about rebirth. There's that saying that goes, every beginning disguises itself as an end. So even in death, right, like there's life on the other side of it. I always kind of think of those like controlled burns too, that they do, like just burning out the old brush, so that new grass can grow. So, with this being in the blocked position, it's almost like it kind of has this feeling of like blocking your own blessings, or being like worried that you don't have the resources, or the resources aren't going to show up. The Two of Wands here at the bottom of the deck, like the wands talk about action, communication. We saw the Three of Wands. Like the Two of Wands is searching clearly, right? The Ace of Wands talks about the ignition of a passion, or, it's this new creativity idea, or, it's this new kind of spark, a new passion almost, right? It's a new idea for something that you want to put your energy into moving towards. And so, you know, the two of wands, we have the two wands here. So then it's, you know, kind of searching for, you know, how do I bring this into the physical realm? Which way do I need to go in order to, you know, kind of bring this into reality? We have the Page of Cups underneath that. And even if you can see it, right, he's like pointing on, I'm going to assume that's a map. But he's just kind of holding his cup up here and the waves are filling his cup. So it's this like trust that you are going to be provided exactly what you need. And all you have to do is, you know, kind of focus on your passion. Ace of Swords underneath that. The Sword of Truth. New perspective. So again, you know, with this being in the blocked position, you could be having a hard time releasing. Like just kind of almost having a hard time getting out of your own way. And even like, you know, she's almost like even kind of pointing to the Magician. This really does just kind of feel like old stuff. Like it's almost kind of like, you know, an old way of thinking or an old way of doing things is what's blocking you. Just kind of maybe even having like a traditional, a more traditional way of doing things, or a way of thinking about things, or even just like a traditional way of thinking about how things go. Like, you know, a traditional way of thinking about, you know, like a traditional life and a traditional relationship and a traditional job and, you know, like the traditional ways of even making money. And maybe that's kind of what's, and look who's at the bottom. I just put that down because I needed to itch my shoulder. But, you know, that could be blocking your stream of income, or just blocking the resources coming to you easily. And then, like I said, you know, the Three of Swords is knowledge. Interesting. What is the advice for clearing the block for Aries? I also think that it's interesting how the Magician is like almost kind of like a darker card, and the Death card, it has all of this light and even all of this flow around it. It's, you know, almost just kind of, the energy is just almost kind of focused on the tree. And like I said, you know, it's just kind of interesting how the Magician is represented as a tree here. And then in the Death card, you know, it's almost like this, the death is kind of coming to this tree. And look at everything around it though, right? You know, you kind of get more of the landscape. You get more of the picture. There's flow out here, right? You know, like the wind blowing through their hair, right? And that, but in the Magician, it's very, you know, like kind of focused in on just, you know, like this part of the tree, but you can't see all of this even, right? Like mountains back here and all these mountains back here. That's interesting. So again, you know, just this kind of feeling about blocking your own blessings, or just kind of even being in your own way, being stuck in those old ways of thinking about things. So the advice is the Knight of Pentacles, and we have the Knight of Swords, Ten of Swords at the bottom of the deck, Seven of Cups, this Knight, you know, the Knight of Pentacles talks about kind of like slow and steady wins the race type of thing. It's interesting that the two cards that are on the table that are minor arcana are pentacle cards. So, and again, you know, just kind of having more landscape available in here. But the thing about Pentacles too is that they are the slower moving pentacles, or excuse me, elements out of the suit cards, because we're talking about like the 3D world, right? And things move a little bit slower in the physical realm. So, you know, like it takes a little bit of time to build a savings, or it takes a little bit of time to get to a position of the King of Pentacles, as far as like if it's something in your career. You know, it takes some time for investments to pay off. It takes time for noticeable changes to your health, either way, right? Whether you're trying to improve or if it's a situation where it's declining. You know, I mean, those things in most cases take a little bit of time. So, you know, the Knight of Pentacles is slow moving, but he's committed. He, she, they, right? It's just the energy of the suit. So we have this path back here. You know, like he's even off of his horse, you know, walking. So almost just kind of like casually, almost just kind of like taking your time. Like I said, like slow and steady wins a race. But this is also a card of commitment. Like you are committed to getting to the place where you want to be. He's wearing this key around his neck. And again, even just a placement, like I said, with this King of Pentacles, you know, it being closer to his chest, you know, just kind of keeping in your heart's eye what your goal is, but also like keeping that focus in your body and less in your mind, because like I said, you know, the Pentacles talk about your body also. And letting that kind of be the thing that moves you forward, that kind of propels you forward. Like that's the thing that kind of puts one foot in front of the other, right? So with this being in the advice, it's almost just like, you know, just start moving forward. Even if it is slowly, even if it is baby steps, right? Like, just, you know, like those little actions when, you know, like some thought comes into your mind. Speaking of thoughts. Why does she look like Madonna to me? I don't know, like in her face. Yeah, like... I'm just kind of, I'm getting this message about just, you know, almost trying to move out of your thinking brain and into your body. Like I said, just into your heart space. You know, the Knight of Swords generally talks about like a fast moving energy. It's quickly moving towards whatever you think you want to do. And even just, you know, in this depiction, you know, I'm just kind of getting this feeling that she's stabbing this ball here. And that's almost like what's causing it to burst. Like, you know, just like almost kind of bursting your own bubble type of thing. And, you know, the Ten of Swords talks about, I mean, these are all of the thoughts, all of the opinions, all of the worries, all of the what ifs, you know, every which way that you think a situation can go, right? It's the things that just kind of beat us down. And it's also the things that just prevent us from moving forward. And then, you know, we have the Seven of Cups behind that. And, you know, so instead of thinking about the situation, again, like I said, from your brain, because this is what your mind is going to do, right? It's going to burst your own bubble and just kind of, you know, kind of keep you on the floor and like prevent you from moving forward. And then, you know, the Seven of Cups comes in. The cups talk about being in our emotions, right? But also just kind of thinking about all of the different possibilities, right? But thinking about it from our emotional body. How does it make you feel? You know, like, how do you want your life to feel? Not like, you know, how do you want to think about your life? Not how do you want your life to be perceived, but how do you want to feel about your life and all of the things in it? I mean, you know, like your relationship, your job, where you live, what you do in your free time, if you have a lot of free time, right? But it's just kind of allowing your head to go into the clouds a little bit, but from your emotional body, not from your head. So there's this invitation here to just kind of like slowly move out of this, this blocking yourself kind of energy. And then we have the Seven of Pentacles for the outcome. Again, with the Pentacles. There could be like a big focus on your bag right now. Two of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles. There's the Two of Wands again. And then the Justice card. Interesting. Interesting. We might go through some of those. So the Seven of Pentacles it talks about patience. It understands that, you know, things take time. But you also, you know, like you have to put your energy into it first, right? So, you know, she's baking bread in this oven here. You can see that. But she had to make the dough first, right? So it's, you know, kind of reaping the rewards or the benefits of what you kind of put your energy into. In the traditional tarot, he's standing in his garden, right? Just kind of standing there and just almost like admiring his work. And, you know, like there's pentacles kind of blooming out of these plants, right? So it's understanding that you have to, you know, kind of continue to practice and, you know, like put your energy into something. And this can be an invitation to practice something or even get back into the practice of something. Like it could be a hobby, you know, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be something that you want to monetize. At least not yet. I mean, obviously it can be something if you want to, if you do, you know, kind of want to get to that point. But this is just working to perfect that. And then we have the Two of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, which talks about, you know, kind of balance, things being in a little bit of limbo. Also, these almost kind of look like yo-yos to me, just because of like the movement kind of around them. So, you know, again, it's just like trusting the process. I say again, but I'm not even sure if I actually said that yet or not. But, you know, really kind of trusting the process, but almost, you know, like kind of trying, I'm getting this message of fitting it into your life, like making it a priority in the sense of that you are going to try to fit it in somewhere. Even if it is something that you can only do once a week for an hour, if that, right? Like it's just, it's fitting it in wherever it can fit in. The Eight of Pentacles, you know, it talks about building something. Now, you know, like we have this progression from the Seven of Pentacles to the Eight of Pentacles. It's almost like, you know, you've kind of mastered a craft and you're using that to like kind of build momentum on. This is when you become an expert, right? Like just by the repetition, like he's building this wall here. Then we have that Two of Wands again. Like this could even be where, in the position that it's coming up in now, this could even be that there might even be like a slight change in direction. Like, you know, just kind of going down this path, right? Like, or it could just even kind of like open up new doors. This is even something that you might even look forward to. Like you just kind of start looking forward to doing it or even doing it more often. And then we have, oops, we have the Page of Cups again. You know, like just kind of focusing on that passion, focusing on the direction that you want to go in, knowing that your cup is going to be filled by, like you're going to have what you need and it will be provided. Like it'll show up for you because you're following your passion, which then, you know, kind of creates this, you know, we have the Justice card here. The Justice card talks about the scales balancing, fairness, right? Like, and then awakening right after that. This transformation. You know, you can kind of see this skin, you know, like suit down here. And then she's like awakening out of that with her wings and transforming into somebody else, right? Which just creates this, this alchemy in the world. And, you know, like this transformation from, you know, like the fluid or the liquid that was in these cups and, you know, it's grounded into the earth, but, you know, just this physical representation of this figure being free and totally in their own image. Ten of Pentacles. Family. You know, we have this family down here. We have this tree in this house. You know, it's It's family and harmony. It's your needs being met in your family unit, right? It's community. This also can be, you know, like passing down or passing on your lessons. Like, I mean, there could be an opportunity to like teach what you do. Or, you know, like people may seek you out for your wisdom in the thing that you do. Beautiful. And all you need to do is allow this old way of thinking about things, or this old way of perceiving things, or this old way of even manifesting. Try to let it go and try to move forward. And, you know, like find that passion. Even if it is work, right? Like it doesn't even have to be something outside of work. Beautiful. I'm going to leave it there. And again, thank you so much for being here. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.